Hello?
I'm
Here
not the
we are.
producer. I'm not the producer. I'm trying to fill in for Ron. Hey,
Yeah,
everybody.
you're just the eye candy, so try to keep up. What's
Yeah, that's
going on,
fine.
everybody? Friday Night Live coming back at you once again. Decibel Geek TV. Either you're catching it there on the YouTube or you're catching it on the Facebook. Either case, my name is Aaron Camaro, and I'm joined by my awesome friend and kick-ass co-host, Chris Sinzak. What's going on? Hell yeah. Didn't know if we were going to do this tonight, but we're carrying through. It's been a crazy week. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, absolutely. It's been a horrible
Terrible.
week.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
been the shits, just the worst. But we're going to carry through. As you guys probably know, we lost a really great friend this week, our friend Gary Corbett. And
Yeah.
it's been a few days, and the tears have been cried, and maybe not all of them. We'll see tonight. But we really rallied for Gary. We really
Hey, Tom.
wanted him to do good. Everybody kicked in and helped out on the GoFundMe, which was amazing. And he fought, but in the end, he succumbed to his cancer, and we
Yeah.
lost Gary Corbett this week. And then on top of that, we find out, God, to be a surviving member of Cinderella today.
Yeah.
Find out that we also lost Jeff Labar.
Yeah. It was messed up on today's Friday, and then Wednesday afternoon. We Aaron and I were privy a little bit more than most people at the time because we've been in contact with Gary's awesome sister Mindy,
Yeah.
who's kind of kept us up to date with what's going on. And he took it seemed like things were going better about a couple of weeks ago, and seemed like he was taking a positive turn.
Yeah.
And then
Everybody was enthused.
this week it just all went downhill. Like he got rushed to the hospital, and then had some major health problems cropped up, and then we heard about hospice getting called in, and then Wednesday afternoon we got the news that he had passed. And but the thing is, it was about an hour or 2 hours before that I heard about Jeff Labar, and I was like, "Holy shit! I didn't know Jeff died." I was like, "That was." And that one came kind of out of nowhere. With Gary, we obviously had some warning with what he was going through, but
Yeah.
with Jeff, I mean, obviously it's well known he had some drinking issues and stuff, but I don't believe he was ill with anything, or at least publicly it wasn't known that if he was sick or anything at the time. And
I have no idea about any of that. All I know is that, he was an awesome guy because we got
yeah,
to meet him and hang out with him and spend time with him. And he
right.
was super cool, man. He was a unique guy, man. That time we met him, he had me laughing like my sides hurt. He had me laughing so hard.
Well,
So funny.
we actually, I don't know if you remember this, we met him years ago at Karabi's Toys for Tots show in East Nashville. What the acoustic
Yeah.
thing? We met
Yeah,
him before that
that's right.
show.
That's right.
And we were giving him shit about not being about Cinderella not playing anymore, and he was like, "Well, talk to Tom. It's not my fault." It's just like he's like, "Ask Tom about Cinderella." He's
Yeah.
like, "I'd love to play, but
He
but
was
he was
wanting to see it
really
as bad as we did.
sure, yeah." And but so that time, and then I had run into him a couple of times at shows. Like he would show up at residency shows when they were doing it at Dan McGinnis. I remember seeing him there, and then of course the night we got to really talk to him was at Zany's after
Yeah.
the comedy night after Rockin' Pod 2. And
I almost laughed harder at him than I did inside the venue for the comedy shows, and that's
yeah,
saying something.
and it was him and Mark Slaughter that came together for that, and they because they're friends with Craig Gass, and they were in line, and Ralph posted a really nice picture of him and Ralph earlier, of them standing in line together, and Ralph got to hang with him for like 20 minutes, and
Nice.
but yeah, he came out after the show, and all of us were we were in a good mood. I'll just say that it was
we were.
the whole weekend was just a party, and a bunch of us podcasters are hanging out on the street corner, and Jeff just hangs with us, and we're all just cutting up and busting each other's balls, and he was just super nice. I mean, just a really funny guy, had a great sense of humor. But I have to tell this story because Ian brought it up when I talked to him last or a couple days ago. So Ian, Ian is always known for a well-timed joke, and he says, something like, I wish I brought my copy of Night Songs to get you to sign it. And Jeff goes, oh, yeah? He goes, yeah, well, I want you to sign it. I'm not going to let Fred Corey sign it because, he didn't actually play on the record or something like that. He's like, I want a guy that actually played on the record. And Jeff just was like, oh, that's cold. But it's funny, but it's cold. It's a good old Ian. But that was funny. But, yeah, he was a great guy, and I love that he did a solo record a few years ago with some local players here, and it was great. Had a video out and everything, and I actually saw him the first time I met Jeff Labar, and this is way back. This is like 2005, I think. He had a band called Naked Beggars it was him and Eric Brittingham, and Eric's wife was the singer.
They opened for Ace Frehley down at the Wild Horse.
Oh, did they?
Yep.
So this was a show that was it was like, you remember that Little Harpeth Brewery show we went to for the Iron Maiden tribute? It was in that type of area, like in like the industrial area. I can't remember the name of the club now. It was a club that was only open for like a couple of months. And it was Naked Beggars headlining. Bullet Boys in quotes was on the bill, but it was Mark Torian and a couple other guys. It was like a 3-piece, and the two other guys were just nobodies. And then some 80s hair band opening up, or like a tribute band. And I interviewed Jeff and, God, it's going to kill me that I can't remember her name now. Eric's wife at the time, who was the singer. I can't remember her name off the top of my head. She's still a local artist too. But I interviewed them. I only got to talk to Eric in passing because Eric was actually coming off of one of his heart attacks at the time, because he was going through a lot of health problems at the time too. But I remember Jeff and the singer, they were a trip, and it was a really good interview with them. They were a really good band too. I hate that they didn't get much attention, but
yeah,
early 2000s, not a great time for rootsy rock and roll at the time.
Straightforward rock, yeah.
And the show didn't draw very well, but I remember while Naked Beggars was playing, I'm up in a balcony area, and I look over to my left, and Mark Torian standing right next to me watching. So, and he was super cool. He gave, I gave him my at the time Nashville Rock business card, and he took a photo. I still have a photo of him holding the card up. I don't know where I put it though, but
he didn't say, "Do I even know you?"
Yeah. Do I even know you, bro? But he was, and I remember being kind of taken aback with Mark Torian that night because he was doing all the guitar work, and I was like, "Damn, he's much better guitar player than I expected him to be," And then Kip Winger got up with Naked Beggars, and they did some stuff together too, and they did Nobody's Fool and a couple other Cinderella songs. But that was the first night I met him. But Jeff was always very supportive of local bands and stuff, and our friend Josh Toomey, he was in a band called 12 Volt Negative Earth, and Fred Corey was producing them, and Jeff also would hang around the studio and help out with them. So Josh actually knew Jeff pretty well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but
it's a tough loss, man. Yeah. Tough loss. And then before you even get a chance to barely process that, then like you said, we got the word. I'm at home. I'm working on editing the new episode because I kind of put it off for too long anyway. It's been a long week all the way around. And I'm sitting there, I'm working on the episode, and I get the call from Chris, and Chris lets me know that, we lost Gary. And I just shut the laptop, man. I was like, fuck, I'm done for the night. It's such a terrible thing, man, because such an awesome dude. I remember years ago, Chris was like, hey, do you want to talk to Gary Corbett? And honestly, truthfully, at the time, I was like, who? He's like, Gary Corbett. He was on the Crazy Nights tour and the Hot in the Shade tour, and he was behind the curtain and played the keyboards for Kiss. And I was like, yeah, sure, I guess, and never thought nothing of it. Never thought this guy is going to be one of the coolest people I'll ever meet, and that's exactly what it ended up being. He came out to Laverne, to our house, to my house. He drove quite a ways to get there.
Yeah,
and I didn't even have the studio set up then over there. So we set up in the kitchen. And this is the story I've been telling about Gary. So we're talking to Gary that first time, and I got a little min pin named Chopper. We lost him about, a year or so ago. And Chopper's sitting down by Gary, and Gary's down leaning while we're talking to him the whole time. He's leaned down, he's petting Chopper, and Chopper's just standing at the feet of Gary. He ain't going nowhere. And so he's petting him, and the dog ain't leaving. And it ends up that way for the entire conversation. So then we all go out and we leave through the front garage, and, Chris and Gary go on their way. I turn around, I come back into the house, and I'm walking in, and I go, "What's that?" And there's like a brown furry thing on the floor, and I thought it was a mouse or something. I was like, "Oh shit, we got a mouse." And I get a little closer to it, and I'm looking, and I'm looking, and I'm looking. What it is Gary sat and pet Chopper so much that he shed a little pile of fur. And it was just in this little perfect pile, right where the dog sat. And the whole time Gary loved on him. And I had to laugh. It was like, you get this guy coming over, and he's done so much in the world of music, and has been acclaimed and revered for so long, and you're getting introduced to him. And he's such a down-to-earth, sweet, nice guy, So then it was like, we got to get Gary back on the show, Do we do 2 parts with Gary the first time, or was that later?
Yeah, the first time we did because because it was such a long conversation. We wound up talking to him for like over 3 hours. So it was like, we just have to make this a 2-part episode, because that was.
We ended up talking to him for over 2 pounds of dog hair.
We did. And I'll never forget when the first episode came out. So like media outlets started picking it up, because anyone that has listened to those episodes knows Gary did not hold back. Like they
were controversial episodes for sure.
He shared a lot of behind the scenes secrets that a lot of people hadn't heard before.
Stuff that I never even thought to ask about.
So I'll never forget, he texted me the day that it came out, and he saw that the media was picking up on it. And so they're using quotes that he had said through the show. And he's like, "I just listened back to this." He's like, "Holy shit, dude, did you guys give me sodium pentothal or something?" He's like, "You could actually hear that I forget that I'm being recorded." Yeah. And I felt bad. I was like, so I messaged back, "Oh, dude, we don't want to upset you." I was like, "Do you want me to take it down and take stuff out?" Because unlike some shows, we do that for people. But anyway, sure, and he's like, no, I said it. I'll stand by it. It's not like I was going to work with those guys again anyway. But he's like, you guys definitely do a good job making people feel comfortable, because I forgot completely that I was being recorded.
Yeah, because within 5 minutes of meeting Gary Corbett, we're all best friends, Yeah. And that's what it ended up being. To be honest with you, talking to Gary, I would forget that we were recording too, because it was just hanging out with awesome people, having a great conversation about things you had no idea about. And that's where the listeners come in and get the benefits of that, because then they get to go back and listen to it and hear these amazing stories. It's a double thing. We get blown away by it, and then we release it for the people, and they can be blown away by it too. And Gary Corbett blew minds with those first couple of episodes, and how cool he was.
Yeah, that's part the artwork for part 1, and which covered a lot. It was when he got brought in to work the Crazy Nights tour. Phil Ashley, who played keys on the album, referred him to Paul Stanley, and that was how he got the gig. And so that had that. Also, there was some talk on that about him working with Paul on the solo tour in '89.
That's right.
Which had a lot of interesting stories. And then part 2 came out, and this is the one that really got a lot of attention, because he was best friends with Eric Carr, and Eric went through a whole lot, and Gary shared basically everything, warts and all, about what happened during that period of time. But some of our most popular episodes for sure. But I mean, above all that, above all the great stories, it was just like, man, this guy's cool as shit, man. It's like we should hang out with him as much as possible. And he was just very cool, down to earth. Loved what we were doing, liked the concept of the show, and just believed in us. Always encouraging. And then when I started Rockin' Pod, he was very helpful with encouraging me. He was one of the first guests to say yes to coming to it, and it's like, he's like, I love what you're doing, because you're giving exposure to these artists again, and you're also helping the podcasters get content. And I could always depend on Gary for like kind words and encouragement. He was always good for that.
I know putting together a Rockin' Pod is kind of a hassle sometimes, and you got to get all the right pieces to fall into place, and that's a difficult thing to do. How difficult was Gary to work with over the years for Rockin' Pod?
Not at all. was, what day and what time do I need to be there? And I'd tell him, and okay, I'll be there. And that was really all I ever had to do with Gary.
And he was there.
Oh, thank you, Cecil. The Rick Fox one was a lot of fun to do.
He's amazing.
That was great.
I always love that because it's like a fantasy of Kiss fans. Oh, to have been in the loft, to be a fly on the wall in the loft, or Coventry, or all these legendary the very beginnings of Kiss. But there was somebody who was there and will tell stories about it. And we're always happy to talk to Rick, man. We could have him back on again next week, and he could tell those same exact stories to us again, and I'd still be blown away by it.
Yeah, and he's got a lot more stories than what he shared that night. So, and obviously, Rock and Ron can't be here tonight. He's just trying to rest up and take as good a care of himself as he can. So, we don't want him to push himself too hard. But thanks, you guys. There's a lot of love for Ron in the comments here tonight. So thank you guys for saying that. I'm pretty sure Ron's watching, and I'm sure he appreciates that. So thank you guys.
I know he does, because Ron would prefer to be here with us, but he's doing what he's supposed to do, and that's heal up and get better. We can't, after all this, man, we sure as hell can't lose Rock and Ron. So pour all our love his way, keep him reminded of all the people out here that love him. I told him from the very beginning, the first time he competed on Beat the Geek, that this man is a superstar, and he's got to be around for a long time to, get the adoration and the love of the fans that love him so much. So, absolutely. Rock and Ron, I'm talking to you, sucker. You better stick around for a long time, man. We need you, brother.
That's right.
Because Chris can't apparently run the production right on this show.
I'm doing okay now.
Now that you don't have to do anything. It's just the button pushing and the timing of it all.
Oh,
You're no Rock and Ron, my friend.
Tony Seminara is checking in. Tony runs Depot Records, which is a longtime vendor for Rockin' Pod. Yeah, Rockin' Pod.
Mention what's Rockin' Pod? I never heard of it.
Well, Aaron will do it better than me. You go ahead.
Well, in case you don't know, here we go. It's August 6th through the 8th right here in Nashville, Tennessee. Basically what it is a big old giant rock and roll party. You've got all your favorite rock music podcasters coming in from all over North America. They're all converging on Nashville, Tennessee. That means for that weekend, August 6th through the 8th, Nashville, Tennessee. It's Music City. A lot of people like to talk about that it's Country Music USA. But that weekend, we're taking it back. We're taking it back for rock and roll. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We've got all these amazing guests. I had the card. Oh, man. I ran out and met Chris today. I got postcards. It's over there, I think. But I was going to tell everybody we got postcards now. So I'm going to be taking them around to some record stores tomorrow. People have been waiting. They said, hey, when are the Rockin' Pod flyers coming out? We want these on the front desks of our music stores, because even if we can't be there, because obviously the poor music people, they got to sell CDs and albums on the weekend. So they can't even come to Rockin' Pod, but they love the idea of it so much. They want to have those flyers on their counters, and I'm going to be delivering the goods all day tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, what's not to get behind? These people say, here's some grassroots stuff going on right here. Podcasting. Rock music podcasting. It doesn't get more grassroots than that. We started this thing like 10 years ago, and I had no idea really truly what a podcast even was. And from that to forge friendships with guys like Gary Corbett, and to get to meet Jeff Labar. And, those guys are gone. They're part of rock and roll mythology now. They're part of rock and roll history. And we got to be a part of that. And, Gary was a huge part of Rockin' Pod. He was a huge supporter of it. And this year, man, you can't beat it. We got Billy Sheehan coming. Billy Sheehan's coming. Not even on the poster. You're going to see that Greg Bissonette is also coming.
It's on the poster now.
Oh, it is on there now. Yeah. Okay. The poster, we're weeks away. And just like every year, the poster continues to be updated to the last damn minute.
Revision number 23, I think.
Well, that's the cool thing, because people don't know about Rockin' Pod, and then they find out and they say, hey, I want to be a part of this. Well, we can work something out. And next thing you know, you got Billy Sheehan and Greg Bissonette. Would be awesome if somebody could just get those two up on stage to do like an Albums Unleashed or something on the David Lee Roth album, Eat 'Em and Smile. I mean, that would be so cool If somebody could do that.
Well, you're in luck, my friend.
I am. Not only me, but everybody else that's attending Rockin' Pod is in luck too.
Yeah, the first panel of the day will be Aaron and I doing an Albums Unleashed live with Greg and Billy about the making of Eat 'Em and Smile.
Hell to the yes. I can't wait for that. It's going to be so amazing. And I love the fact that we get to knock ours out right out of the gates. We get to get it done. And then we get to go hang out and have fun after that. So Not only do we got those two guys showing up, we got the brothers of drums. You know who I'm talking about when I say that. I'm talking about Carmine Apiece and Vinny Appice. Those guys, man, they were just on the show like a month ago talking about Blue Murder, talking about Dio, Holy Diver, and that just scratches the surface of what those guys have done throughout rock and roll history. Odds are you've got some of their albums. How'd you like to get those signed? Kevin Williams is going to be interviewing Vinny. How cool is that? You're going to get to listen to In Obscuria and hear it all. So many great. That's the other thing about this that I always love is like for the next 2 months after Rockin' Pod is the best. That's like the prime season of podcasting when it comes to rock and roll because all the best podcasts come out right after Rockin' Pod because they were all recorded at Rockin' Pod.
Right. And they get to take a month off after getting all that material.
Yeah. Well, not us because we never record nothing.
Yeah, I know.
We're too busy doing other stuff. We're too busy making sure the party is rocking and rolling. Hey, do you remember MTV? Back when MTV, the music, they actually played it. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Well, if you do, I bet you definitely remember Mark Goodman. You remember Ricky Rackman. And you remember Matt Pinfield. Oh, yeah, you remember those guys because they were huge names back when MTV actually meant something. All three of those guys are going to be at Rockin' Pod. You can, the dude, man, right now, let me just tell you, just for me personally, Ricky Rackman, oh, man, I got to MC this thing. I got to be on the case. I can't get up there and look like a jerk in front of Ricky Rackman. That guy's like the ultimate metal party host. If I don't pull down the goods during Rockin' Pod as the MC, as the host, man, I got to bring my A game because I'm going to be there doing it in front of Ricky Rackman. I respect the hell out of that guy. I used to love him, man. Well, I say I used to. I still do. I mean, I respect this guy for always because when I was a little kid, 12, 13, up to 19, till it ended, watching Headbangers Ball and going, that guy's got the best job in the world, the host of Headbangers Ball.
Oh, look at this.
That's what I want to be. Well, of course, man. It's Rockin' Pod. I'm going to try to be shiny, almost as shiny as Todzilla. Not quite.
Oh, I don't know. I think you've upped your game this year. I've seen what Aaron's going to wear to this time.
That's the perks of being a Decibel Geek co-host with me is that you get the exclusive preview of the attire that I'll be wearing at Rockin' Pod. Nobody else but Chris Sinzak, and of course Mrs. Camaro gets to see that.
It's definitely something to behold. I'll say that.
That's what I told her.
Oh God, really? There you go.
Oh, nice, man. So bring the poster back up because we got to hit it all. We got to let everybody know what's going on at Rockin' Pod.
There you go.
Of course, the revision that sucked the most was taking Gary Corbett's name off of here. But I was talking to Chris today. Every Rockin' Pod Expo has got its own special kind of like tour book that goes along with it that you can get a hold of. You can take it home and keep it. And we've got a whole page dedicated to Gary Corbett in there. Because, I mean, this whole expo is dedicated to him because he was such a huge supporter of it and he loved it. And every year that he came, he had a blast. I remember, I'll never forget when he met up with Ron Jones from Let It Rip. Mm-hmm. And those guys, they knew each other. And it's like, man, this is so damn cool, that Gary's here and and Ron's here, and they didn't really, I guess, hadn't seen each other in forever, and it was like them guys seeing each other for the first time in a long time, and that's where Ron comes into this, trilogy of friendship with Gary Corbett, with Chris and myself, and to see that was so cool, and to see him having so much fun and people excited to interview him, it made me feel good to see him having such a good time. Always.
Somebody's asking, so. Blackberry Farms IPA. That's what I'm drinking.
And I'll also never forget, and I don't remember which Rocket Pod it was, but it was one of them where we were at the hotel, and Gary Corbett and I took a little break and took a little skip up the stairs, and Gary taught me how to smoke pot in a hotel room and not get caught. My man.
Road
awesome
tips.
Friend Gary.
Yeah. Oh, man. Too funny.
But man, so much cool stuff going on there. You got the MTV VJs, the classics. You got to love it. Then you got Ron Keel. Ron Keel's been on Decibel Geek before. He is one awesome dude. You know what? One of the coolest rockers out there. He's got an awesome story, a long history. Steeler, Keel, the Ron Keel Band. The stuff he's doing today is fantastic. He's got his podcast. He's got his own radio show. Ron Keel's got it going on, man. He's had a long career, but I feel like he's at his peak right now.
He's busier than me, and that's saying something.
That's saying something. He's just the guest at Rocket Pod, not the guy trying to puppet everything and make everything fall into place. So then, talk about funny people, and we got Don Jameson from That Metal Show on VH1 Classic. You guys remember that? That was kind of like the sequel to Headbangers Ball a couple of years later. Headbangers Ball was gone, but when that show came back or debuted on VH1 Classic, man, I was really excited about that, because I had Eddie Trunk on there, Don Jameson, and Jim Florentine. We met Jim Florentine, super awesome guy.
We did a great interview that only 3 of us heard.
It was fantastic. Yeah. Here's to you, Metal Mike, the only listener that got to hear that episode in person, because you need to hit record when you do these things. We learned that. That was a lesson learned a long time ago. Hasn't happened since.
Aaron, I thought Aaron was going to tell me he was dying or something.
I thought
I was that day.
I thought Chris Sinzak was going to fire me from the Decibel Geek podcast.
He's like, I have something so horrible to tell you, and I don't know how to tell you.
I got to come out with it.
And then I was like,
no, I didn't record the show. And you're like, well, shit happens. I was like, really? I mean, because it was really good. It was
I was bummed, but what me yelling at you is going to do what? Don't
you ever let that happen again. And I didn't. Chris told me that. He screamed at me that
Pod,
day.
I've got these.
Ooh,
what are
those? Those are passes.
Those are official tickets for Rockin' Pod. So you can buy these at rockinpod.com. Click on the ticketing link, and you can get one of these.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So you guys know Don Jameson. You know him from That Metal Show. You also know Craig Gass. He's another super funny guy. Probably know him best from the Howard Stern Show.
Yeah.
And his awesome Gene Simmons impersonations.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta love that, man. He's going to be there as well. And we got Pamela DeBar coming. Pamela DeBar, she's legendary herself. She was a part of a lot of stuff in music history. She was right there with it, because when she was young, she was super hot, and rock stars wanted to spend a lot of time around her. So she's got the coolest stories. She's got her own podcast, part of Pantheon Podcast, along with us. And pretty awesome lady. If you've never checked out her show, I highly recommend you do it. And
She's
once
awesome.
you do, you're definitely going to want to meet her, and you can do that in August.
That's a mighty case, man. Kevin Williams wants us to talk about the movie afterwards. So, okay, so it's now public knowledge. So, if you're a ticket buyer or a registered podcaster, there will be an email blast sent out. That some people already got in on the action early, but there's still some available. It's very limited tickets to a movie screening we're doing after the expo at a movie theater called the Full Moon Cineplex, which shows like old school horror movies and stuff. Like you can actually go to a movie theater and see Nightmare on Elm Street at this place.
There's some cool people that run that place.
Yeah,
sure.
Ben Dixon, who's an amazing tattoo artist, runs it. And so we rented out the theater, and we're going to show Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park with Craig Gass, Don Jameson, Courtney Cronendold, and Philip Schaus from Ace Frehley's band doing a live commentary to it, like kind of Mystery Science Theater style. So that's going to be great. And then we're also going to screen Andrew Scambatti's awesome Greatest Show on Earth fan film documentary.
Yep.
And but you got to be a ticket buyer or a podcaster to get the link for that, because it's basically a private event. So
yeah, because it's not like a giant, huge theater or anything. No. It's like a movie theater. So you gotta. There's only so many tickets and so many spaces available. So that's why it's exclusive to podcasters and people that have gotten hotel rooms through rockinpod.com. But if you've done those things, then you can party with us after Rockin' Pod, which that's always a good time. Interesting things happen at the after Rockin' Pod party for sure.
Well, the things you remember.
Right, yeah. That's always the trick. Well, then let's keep going, man. We got Roxy Blue coming back again. Our friend Todd Poole and that awesome band from Memphis. They're coming back. Are they playing? Are they doing anything?
Yeah, they're going to do an acoustic set to close out the expo on Saturday.
Nice, because they busted that out in years past and has been very, very well received. And, Roxy Blue, awesome band. I don't know if you remember them from back in the day, but they're still around and honestly probably putting out some of the best music of their entire career right now. So, get in on the Roxy Blue, and that kind of goes right along with Tora Tora. Anthony Corder has been a guest on the show in the past. Talk about nice guys, man. Anthony is a sweetheart too.
And Anthony's going to perform acoustically at the expo also.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Nice.
And Anthony is going to do a couple of Tora Tora songs at the Rare Hair set on Friday.
We haven't even got to the.
I know there's so much. It's going to turn into a giant Rockin' Pod commercial, and I'm sorry.
I mean, we're getting so close now. We might as well keep it going. We got Tony Harnell coming, and him from TNT. I think is the main place people know him from, and also having one of the most amazing singing voices in the history of life on this planet Earth.
Unreal, yeah,
unbelievable singer.
Yeah, he did. He did a Judas Priest. He did the Green Man Alicia by Judas Priest in 2019.
Oh, dude, that was so cool.
It was.
That was so cool, man. That was probably, and it's hard to pinpoint one thing, but man, out of that pre-party last year with the Rare Hair, where there's different configurations of different artists playing with each other, where you're going to hear one of your favorite artists doing something that you never, ever would have the opportunity to see them play anywhere else. You get to see that. And when Tony Harnell and the crew that was playing with him that night busted out the Green Man Alicia, minds were blown, my friend. Mine included.
Mighty K. I think she meant to say no going balls to the wall Friday and nothing to give Saturday and Sunday. If you want to hear balls to the wall, you might hear it at the Friday pre-party show with a few members of Accept. Just saying.
Because there are a few members of Accept showing up here. That's going to be awesome. We got Ace Von Johnson. He's been in LA Guns. He's been in Faster Pussycat. He's got an awesome social media presence. And you know what? People love him. Not just the ladies either. We love him too, because he's an awesome guy. We're going to get to hang out and have a good time with him. Of course, Resist and Bite. Tommy Skio's awesome new band. Yeah, Tommy Skio from Tesla. He's got an awesome new band. I think everybody knows, it's kind of common knowledge that, Tommy Skio was the real rock guy in Tesla. He was the heavy dude. He was the one that really kept them steered towards what you would call maybe the heavier side of Tesla. So when he comes out with his own thing, man, this is rocking. And I think you let it slip not too long back that at the pre-party the night before Rockin' Pod, when Resist and Bite headlines that whole party, they might bust out some Tesla songs.
They will play. They're going to play a few Tesla songs in their set.
And I'm willing to bet that it's going to be like the heaviest, most awesome Tesla songs. I'm talking like nobody's going to de-rock anybody at the Rockin' Pod pre-party that night. I think
Yeah.
it's going to be just some really cool stuff that maybe Tesla don't play no more. Some of Tommy Skio's favorite stuff.
Yeah, there's no Def Leppard era Tesla gonna be played
No,
at this show.
no. Just the stuff we love. And then returning to Rockin' Pod, our awesome friend. Here's another one. This guy, he kind of falls in that category too with me. Like, we've interviewed a lot of people over the years and got to meet a lot of really awesome individuals that have told us amazing stories, but very rarely, and I know this is like a kind of a misconception of all podcasters, like, oh, you interviewed Whitfield Crane from Ugly Kid Joe. Does that mean you guys are friends now? Well, 99.9% of the time, no.
Not really.
That's not the way it works. These guys got their own thing going on. We're happy to get the interview and be able to talk to them, and that's that. And when it's over, everybody goes their separate ways. But there's awesome golden exceptions to that rule. And, we talk about Gary Corbett being the goldenest exception to that rule. A man that ranks right there with him, our awesome friend Toby Wright. Toby is one that I would consider to be a really good friend of mine, and it's awesome to be able to say, I consider the guy who is known for producing Korn and Slayer and all these awesome metal bands, that, I consider that guy to be a good friend of mine, so Toby's coming back to Rockin' Pod this year. Always people are excited to see Toby. I love it when in years past, because he's here in Nashville and he's got an open invite to come to Rockin' Pod.
No, he's not.
Anytime he wants to.
He's not. He's in LA now. We're bringing him in.
He went back to LA?
Yeah, we're bringing him in from LA to come back.
That son of a gun. So
yeah, but he really wanted to be part of it.
And he didn't even tell me he went to LA.
Yeah, he moved back to Los Angeles.
Well, pretty close anyway.
Oh.
Man, I didn't even know that.
That's right. But
okay,
yeah,
well, because he's such an honored, former guest and good friend of the show, we're flying him in from LA.
Exactly.
So that you can get your album signed by him. And you know what? I challenge you. Look up Toby Wright, look up his discography, and then look at your music collection. You got some of that. I know you do. And how cool would it be to have Toby Wright's autograph on it? And maybe there's something about that album. Maybe it's Korn Follow the Leader or whatever. Maybe there's something you always wondered about that album. You think, man, what is that sound? Or how did they do this? Or why is that like that? Ask Toby Wright.
Say, what be this and what be that? And why you got to produce like that?
Yeah, and he'll tell you exactly why. And you go, oh, that makes perfect sense. You can do that at Rockin' Pod. You know what? Do you remember the band Saigon Kick? Yes. They were pretty damn great. They had that song that everybody knew. It wasn't their best song, but, Love is on its way. Everybody needs to hear that once in a while, I guess.
Love is on the way. And lunch is on the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what else is on the way? 2 members of Saigon Kick coming to Rockin' Pod. So it's kind of like a mini halfway Saigon Kick reunion.
Yeah, kind of. Chris McLernan and Jason Beal are both coming. That's going to be really cool to have both of them. Chris McLernan also in little known but awesome 80s band Cold Sweat. That was out.
Was that just some kind of tie-in with like ex-Japan?
I don't know about that, but I know that Roy, the singer, was a guy named Rory Cathy, who is now goes by Roy Cathy, who now sings for Steel City, which is also a band coming to Rockin' Pod.
So
good, actually, 2 members of Cold Sweat are coming.
So there you go. You get a Cold Sweat reunion. You didn't even know it.
I know. Everybody's tied together in one way or another. But
that's so cool, man. I love that.
Yeah,
we're gonna have so much fun, and so many other awesome people. We got the Ace Frehley / Gene Simmons band / the Talisman, Ryan Cook, Jeremy Asbrock, and Phil Schultz coming to Rockin' Pod. They're going to be doing an acoustic set.
Yep.
You know it's going to be cool because those guys are the best.
Oh, yeah. Mark Ferrari was in Cold Sweat. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Mark Ferrari. But what about the drummer? Where's Kevin Williams? He would know this.
Who was the drummer in Cold Sweat? I can't remember right off the top of my head.
There's a Visual K connection here, I'm sure. I'm certain of it. Maybe.
I don't know. But yeah, so that's going on Saturday, obviously, and then live podcast all day, education track for podcasters that register that want to check out and get tips on how to be better.
You can get your Hair of the Dog CDs autographed.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you can.
And then, but and then the movie screening after that, I've actually been told there's a concert going on downtown that's kind of tied in with some Rockin' Pod guests that hasn't been announced yet. But for those that can't get into the movie, there's also a concert that's going to be available to you. So there's a lot going on Saturday. And then we also have Sunday activities going on that Aaron and I are also going to be involved in. First off will be a drum masterclass from eat a piece, apathy, brother. And
say that one time fast.
I know, at SIR Nashville, which people are getting excited about that. My co-organizer Joe D'Angelo had a call with Modern Drummer Magazine, and Modern Drummer is going to be spreading the word, and D-Drum is going to be spreading the word. So that's really cool. We'll have a lot of drummers signing up for that soon, I'm sure.
I bet. Yeah, with the
legends,
masters.
Yeah, it'll be an hour-long thing with Carmine at noon, and then Vinny Appice will be at 1:15, and then at 2:30, Aaron and I will interview both brothers for a hanging and banging rock history talk about their entire careers, which will be pretty fun, I'm sure.
Chris and I are pulling doubles. Rockin' Pod weekend.
We're going to be incredibly busy.
Hey, why is the Decibel Geek podcast episode late? There you go. All this going on. We're putting in the overtime for you folks, and we're going to keep it going all the way to Rockin' Pod. So if there was ever a reason to visit Nashville, and I know a lot of people say, oh man, Nashville is one of those places I always wanted to go visit. Well, this would be a perfect time to do it. August 6th through the 8th. We got a lot of cool stuff going on. And then on top of that, we got vendors, T-shirts, albums,
and
like all kinds of stuff.
We got Tony Seminara in the comments section from Depot Records, and Tony has been part of Rockin' Pod since the first year and always brings amazing vinyl, like really hard to get stuff. And if you want some amazing rock and metal vinyl, Tony's got you covered for sure.
Right on. You know what? And these guys know who's going to be there that day. They know what albums you're going to be looking for. Oh, I got to have this so I can have them sign it. Oh, hey, anybody got a copy of The Lizard by Saigon Kick? Ooh, I got a couple over here. Anybody got any Blue Murder? Oh, over there, So they know what you're looking for. You need to get something autographed. You're probably going to find it there. But if you got something at home, bring it with you. You can meet all these guys. Everybody we listed, and plus a whole lot more. You can meet them all and get all your autographs. It's amazing. They're so cool and fun to hang out with. Is the CD Man coming back this year?
I don't think so. And I'm sorry.
Damn it.
Oh.
Damn it. I've been saving up for 2 years to have CD burning money.
Oh my goodness.
Somebody bring me some rock CDs.
We have a special guest. We have a special guest who has decided to jump in tonight.
Yeah?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Rockin' Ron Runyon.
Rockin' Ron, yeah!
What's happening, guys?
Hey, brother. I didn't think you were going to join us tonight. How you doing?
I just wanted to pop in for a little bit and see how you guys are doing, how you're holding up here without me.
Well, it's been a fucking train wreck, to be honest with you, Ron. Not the same.
Oh, I don't believe that.
Wow. Yeah, I suck as a producer compared to you, but I'm doing the best I can.
I don't believe that either.
People in the comments are going crazy to see you.
Nice.
That's another reason. There. Another reason I wanted to pop in, because a lot of people have been showing their support and talking about, how much they want to see me back on here. So I wanted to come on and thank everybody for all their support and for, wishing me the best and everything. And I'm still fighting it. I'm still doing what I can here.
You sound good, Ron.
Yeah, I'm trying.
You been listening to any cool music lately? Fill us in on what you've been listening to or watching.
No, I haven't really been doing too much music lately. I think you got everything. Yeah, everything I already showed last time, because I haven't gotten anything new for a little while.
Right.
I got some stuff that I'm wanting to get. But
yeah, what are you looking to get?
Let's see, what was it? The new Buck Cherry came out.
Yeah.
So I want to get that. There was something else too, but I don't remember exactly what it was. I'd have to go through and look things up and see. You guys got any new stuff to
no
tell me about?
Aaron does. I
got some show
I
and
don't.
tell.
Yeah, what do you got?
Okay, check this out. I found some pretty good ones the last time I went to the store. I got this one.
Oh, some Alcatraz.
Yeah,
nice.
It's
an import.
Alcatraz import. It's okay. It's not bad. This doesn't have Ingve on it, but it's got Graham on it.
Is that the Steve Vai version?
No, it doesn't have Steve Vai on it either.
Really? Who's playing guitar on this?
Some dude I never heard of.
Okay.
I don't know who it is. But it's okay. It's not bad.
Yeah.
Kind of poppy, a little I don't know, a little too poppy for me. And then this one, I'll count this as one pick, and I'd call it a trifecta because I don't know what you call it when you get four of them. But man, I got me a Testament haul.
Right. Oh, what'd you get?
I got some classic, and I got some newer stuff. Check that out. That one's so good.
That's a good record right there.
I popped that in the car, man. I was jamming that on the way home.
Yeah.
It was so good.
And
then I found this one, and I've been wanting to hear that again for a long time. A friend of mine had this when I was young, and they played it a lot. And I haven't actually listened to any of it for years, but it's killer. And then I got these ones that are like later years Testament.
Okay.
So I've been trying to jam on them a little bit, you know.
The Gathering, yeah, I like The Gathering. That's pretty good.
Yeah, there's some really good stuff on it. And then, you know, just to go from the Alcatraz to the Testament, it's good enough for David Lee Roth.
Oh, you froze up, but you got Cool in the Gang.
Oh, Cool in the Gang. Let's celebrate.
It's funky.
Let's celebrate.
Yeah, no, it's funky. There's some good stuff on there, man. I love that funky bass guitar.
Yeah, David Lee Roth.
So from the Testament to the Cool in the Gang.
That's pretty cool.
So I decided a long time ago, if it's good enough for Van Halen, it should be good enough for me.
Oh, Cecil's laughing at you for your Cool in the Gang.
Yeah.
I like some Cool in the Gang. It's pretty good stuff.
All right.
Don't be too close-minded. Ron, does your jacket or shirt there say Jackal on it?
It sure does.
I've never seen that before. Where'd you get that?
At Jackal High School.
Does it have something on the back?
I can't see.
Wow, that's like it's like a Jackal workout shirt jacket.
Adidas jacket.
Yeah,
Where
it's
did you
like
get that?
Like a sweat jacket or
Man, that's
whatever.
I've never seen one like that.
Let's say Aaron's jealous of that thing.
Yeah, that's cool.
Then it says "Rock me, roll me, jackal me off" on the back, which limits my my places to go with it when I'm with my wife.
Lady, please, it's just a jacket.
She gets mad at me when I go to the chemo treatments and stuff because, of course, there's a lot of elderly people there, and I'm going with my Jackal jacket or my my fuck cancer jacket or shirt or.
I just love the fact that even
like,
going through this, you're still pissing people off with what you're wearing. That's awesome.
That's rock and roll.
Well, I'm like, if I don't care if you're 80 years old, or whatever, if you're going in for chemo treatments and you see somebody with a fuck cancer shirt, if you're going to get upset with that,
yeah, no kidding.
Then you got problems, because I don't care what age you are. If you're going to tell me that no, cancer's all right, or you know,
you ask you where do I get one
say
of those?
that. Say, well, I don't like it, so that's my feeling on it.
That's right.
Yeah, it makes sense to me.
How's your?
I need to take like a 1 minute break.
Go for it. That's fine.
Right back.
All right, man. So how's the lovely Dawn doing? She doing okay?
She's hanging in there.
Good.
Doing good. Putting up with a lot of shit.
Yeah. Well, that's what wives are there for.
Yeah. It's getting more and more where she has to wait on me hand and foot here and do a lot more for me.
Yeah. Yeah, but you would do it for her, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Exactly. So just
I know,
that.
but she's having to put up with a lot, but
yeah,
she's getting through it. And it was my birthday a couple of days ago, so
I saw that.
So we was trying to get the family together for a little family barbecue or something like that. And tomorrow. So we're going to do that. I'm still not eating at all.
Well, you got to eat, buddy.
I know. I got to work on that too. And we decided I'm probably going to have to, if I'm going to do this, then I'm probably going to have to take my wheelchair over and do it, which I was hoping it wouldn't come to that. No, for the trip, but yeah, with Rockin' Pod, I think it's almost going to be a sure thing.
Well, then we're just going to have to call you Rockin' and Rollin', Ron Running.
There you go. I'm going to be rocking and rolling.
Yeah. That's what I said earlier. I hope they give you one of those like wheelchairs from the movie Silver Bullet.
Yeah, I don't know.
Gas powered.
Well, you got to get in. Are you going to get in town? Are you getting in town Friday morning?
Friday morning, yeah.
Okay, good. Because I've got a surprise for you Friday afternoon at the Podcaster Mixer. Yeah.
At the Broadcaster Mixer?
The Podcaster Mixer at the hotel.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't have any broadcasters, just podcasters.
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
We're gonna tar and feather you. I'm gonna go ahead and spoil the surprise.
Well, I haven't had that done in boy.
Good days. Yeah,
you've been tarred and feathered. Yeah, it's been a good few weeks here.
Yeah, don't threaten you with a good time, right? Oh, Jim Coon's checking in to come and smoke with you and bring some snacks.
You gotta put the glasses on too.
Yeah, we're all getting old.
You Colorado guys.
Yeah, Jimmy's willing to come over and bring you some treats. It looks like.
Don't turn down no free weed, Ron.
I'm not doing the smoking, so.
No, don't do that. But you could do the edibles.
Yeah, I got the edibles here and there.
Yeah, do what makes you feel better for now, man.
Yeah. Eat some edibles and go watch Pink Floyd The Wall.
That's a good idea. That sounds fun to me. Oh, Mighty K is asking if you're connecting through Charlotte or are you flying nonstop?
I do nonstop. So I'm going to do nonstop. I'm coming out early Friday morning.
Okay.
And so I'm going to get into Nashville there about like 8 o'clock in the morning.
Oh wow, you're gonna be early. Yeah. You're gonna be at the hotel before I will.
Yeah, take a little nap.
Well, when was you looking at getting there?
I'm gonna try to get there about noon. I got to talk to the hotel and make sure we get clearance to set up early. But I'll be there at noon. But we're gonna start set up at like 3. But we might start earlier.
Well, I'll give you a call, or we'll figure out something. We're on vacation, man. We'll
Exactly.
Ain't nothing wrong with having some free time. I'll go around, find something to do.
Yeah, Chris, we're on vacation.
Your definition of vacation's a lot different than mine, my friend.
No, you said you were gonna take it. You said you were gonna take it more easy.
Yeah, I say that every year.
Yeah, I know. I said the same thing. I said I'm gonna just mingle and take it easy and everything, and probably won't be the case for me either. I'll be running around like crazy.
You better not be. I want you to relax and have
fun. Well, that's true. I guess I may not have a choice this year. I'll have to.
I want you to take it easy and take it in and enjoy it. Don't be working. You're not here for work.
But if you got your camera, you want to snap some pictures.
No, go for it if you want to do something. But as long as you're having fun, I don't want you stressing at all.
No, but I'm doing the whole thing. I'm taking it all in. So I'm doing the Friday morning, get in early. Then what do we got? The pre-party. I'm gonna, of course, get ready for the pre-party. You said that's at Mercy Lounge?
Yep, Mercy Lounge. Same place we did it in 2018.
Okay, because I remember that one. The only one I don't like is the basement.
Oh, that was so tiny. That was where the Raven show was.
Yeah.
Dick Wagner too.
Huh?
That was
Dick Wagner was at the.
Yeah, that was where the Dick Wagner show was too.
Little teeny tiny place. You got the guy from Alice Cooper playing, or Raven. It was.
Yeah,
it was tight in there.
It holds like 75 people.
It held a lot more of those nights.
I'll show you something cool. We are going to have these for sale. These are Rockin' Pod like canister thermos things.
Nice.
With the logo on it. So yeah,
really cool.
These will be available for sale. If you're a VIP, you get it for free.
Or your favorite liquor in there and hook it to your belt.
All right.
No, doing the pre-party. Gonna do that. Head back to the hotel because I'm staying in the same hotel with all you guys.
Nice.
And,
I finally booked my room this week. I waited longer than I think just about everybody else did.
I'm gonna head back, and then Saturday we got. Actually, I've got some friends of mine that I grew up with in Ohio. When I went out to Ohio in my teens, when I first started driving truck. I had a truck driving job out of Ohio, so I had to relocate to Ohio. And I made some friends there, and this was 35 years ago now, and I'm still friends with the guys. We try to get together whenever we can, and so I talked to them, and I said, is there any chance that you could make a trip from Ohio down to Nashville? Because I didn't think it was that far, and it's not. It's like 4 or 5 hours maybe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're coming down from Ohio, and they're gonna hang out with me during Saturday when we do the Rockin' Pod and everything, and that. So that's gonna be real cool. And
very cool.
Then what do we got? Then we got the movie screening. Is that
the movie screenings after the expo?
After the expo, got the movie
Saturday
screening.
night.
Yeah, Saturday night.
Yeah, so that'll be real cool. I'd like to see that.
Especially with the comedians giving it the treatment, because there's no shortage of things to make fun of about Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park.
Yeah, but I've been to a couple of those where they've done live commentary, and and they're pretty cool because it's just off the cuff. You know, who knows what they're going to say or anything. So really cool. And then I don't know what we're doing Sunday. Might just be taking it easy and trying to recoup.
Yeah, there's well, I mean, we're
Good
doing
luck with
the
that.
we're gonna do the SIR events with Carmine and Vinny, but you know, that's not
Chris
for
and I are
everybody.
working.
Yeah, Aaron and I are working that, but I mean,
Yeah,
it'll
we
be
got
cool
Sunday night.
for drummers. And then Sunday night's the comedy show.
Sunday night's comedy show.
The High Watt with all the comedians, and the guys from the residency and Ace's band are gonna get up and do stand-up comedy for the first time.
Gonna be awesome.
Speaking of which, I know I don't want to bring the show down again, but I had realized, because I was trying to think if I had ever met him, and I realized it was Jeff Labar that I met at the comedy show a couple of years ago, along with I think it was Mark Slaughter.
They came together.
Was there? I come to get in line for the comedy show, and there's Mark Slaughter right there. So I was like, hey Mark, how you doing and everything? And he introduced himself, said, I'm Jeff Labar, and I was like, some for a minute, because I was thinking I know the name. Who is he with or anything? Because I always get embarrassed by that shit, because they say something and then I don't recognize the name, or
you don't want to make them feel bad.
Who they are, and I don't want to say, oh, you're from so and so. No, I'm not.
You're Jeff Labar from the Bullet Boys, right?
But I was thinking, and right then I think it wasn't you. I think it was Baco, maybe. That somebody came up and said, hey, Jeff Labar from Cinderella, how you doing, or something. I was like, okay.
That sounds like Baco. Hey, Jeff Labar from Cinderella, how you doing?
Yeah, and they got pictures and everything. The sad thing is, I don't do much on pictures. I always forget to take a picture, or I don't want to bother them, or whatever. And it was like, well, that was the one and only time I met him, so I should have got a picture.
Yeah, me too.
Something,
that's my biggest regret every year, is I never remember to take photos with people. And then I'm always bummed when it's over.
I get so caught in the moment, and then like for days after Rockin' Pod, you're just like locked onto your computer going, oh man, I hope somebody tags me in something, because I didn't take no pictures of anything.
I know.
I get too caught up and don't think about it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I love it whenever I see pictures after a show or something or other that somebody took and they got me in it or something like that. Then I'm like, good, somebody got a picture of me. There, I'll take their picture.
The funny thing is, with my Gmail account, I have the Decibel Geek Gmail account that feeds through my phone, right? So the Gmail account will every now and then will say, hey, you have memory photos from like 3 years ago and 4 years ago. Open this link to look at your photos. And I'm thinking, oh, cool. What photos did I take? Not every time I get caught not realizing that Ron also has access to that account. So I'll pull up all these photos of Ron's vacations and Ron's trips to stuff. And I'm like, oh, it's more pictures of Ron. Great.
Ron's naked.
You scared me for a minute there. Yeah.
No, I haven't.
Like,
I haven't.
You get all my pictures.
Well, I've avoided your wiener so far. Hopefully, it never happens.
Yeah, it's coming. Just give it time.
I'll see all these pictures at Ron's.
That's what my wife says too. But
your wife's trying to avoid your wiener as well. Okay.
She has for 20 some years now.
She's our Artful Dodger.
There you go. The laughter thing goes on for way too long on this.
I know, because you got that
really funny
woman just going on there. Yeah. So, anyways, then Then I got the real big, the finale.
Yeah.
Going over to Mr. Camaro's house for our annual podcast.
That's a secret.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
No. There's nothing. There's nothing.
That's come on, dude. Monday, really? There ain't nothing happening.
Well, that's canceled then. Okay.
Nothing happens on Monday at Aaron's house.
No, we don't never do nothing like that.
All right. Well, then.
That's like the speakeasy thing.
I'm gonna get on a plane early Monday then.
No, you're not.
Yeah, don't do that though.
But there's no party at Aaron's house that's fucking amazing every year. There's just not.
No. Okay. And there hasn't been? Is it?
No, there hasn't been.
And there never will be.
Even though there's photographic evidence, it never happened. Now, you catch what I'm saying now?
Yeah.
Mighty K, get in touch.
Thanks a lot, you guys. Now I'm going to have everybody fucking hitting me up all rockin' pot. Hey, I heard about this party. You'd be like, go talk to Rock and Ron. I don't know nothing about it.
It's the one thing I don't run every year, so I'm happy to stay out of this.
And I don't run anything, so don't ask me.
Well, regardless, in my dreams, I think that's the best thing ever. That's the finale. I look forward to that just because after doing all the everything, just to hang out with you guys or with other people.
I'll go take some pictures.
Jamie better have that lawn all manicured, taken care of.
Well, she knows how to use a leaf
riding
blower.
Around on that mower.
Yeah. She's got it handled.
She's going to have it all spruced up.
That post cracked me up with Aaron's drawing of her using a leaf blower. Like, oh my God.
It did kind of ended up looking like my wife had a giant penis, but that's not what it was intended to look like. That was like my examples of like 2-second art. Like I'm a good artist. I can draw a picture in like 30 seconds of something. It's not always the best, but I can draw anything.
I love that your cousin Rhonda said. I love that your cousin Rhonda said, "I hope that I'm in your will" or something like that. Like she's like, you're gonna get killed for this.
Well, yeah, she thought I was, and I didn't even realize it when everyone's like, "Oh, that's bad, that's bad." I'm like, "What? What's wrong with it?" I drew a picture of my wife, and my wife even likes it. Like everybody else saw the penis, but except for all of us. So now that's a question about y'all, not me. I wasn't drawing one, but you all wanted to see it so bad that you saw it in your minds. Filthy people.
Oh, I don't deny that I have a dirty mind. That's
clearly
that goes without saying.
You ain't the only one.
That Tom Feely's in here. Oh, geez.
What's up, Tom Feely?
Tom Feely from the Bill of Coin.
Regardless,
I am Hall of Fame petition.
I am super excited for Rockin' Pod. So
we're excited to see you again, man.
No matter what's going on here, unless something catastrophic happens.
Well, you're not allowed to have anything catastrophic happen.
They're not keeping me away from the Rockin' Pod. That's going to happen regardless. So
awesome.
And even if I have to be in a wheelchair or be taking it easy and being pushed all around or something, it don't matter. I'm going to take it all in.
Damn right. It's going to be awesome, and I can't wait.
Why are you laughing at me like that, Chris?
I'm laughing at what Mighty K said.
Okay.
She did a callback from a funny song that I played on the show years ago.
Oh, yeah.
King Missile song called Detachable Penis.
Detachable Penis.
Yes.
There's my mom.
Your mom's chiming in.
I haven't sworn too much this episode, I guess, because my mom's still here. Yeah, I was a little drawer when I was a kid. I drew and drew. Probably should have made a career out of it somehow, but I don't.
So we've officially gone off the rails. Thanks for chiming in, Ron. I knew that would happen.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I'm glad it did.
That was my intention.
Well, you succeeded as always. We always get so far off the subject matter, but Although I've had a lot more laughs tonight than I was expecting to, so thank you for that.
I thought we were going to come in here cry the whole night, but Ron showed up and made everybody feel good.
Yeah, I know. It's been a rough week.
It's been a terrible week, man.
Yeah, it's just been terrible. I try not to get caught up in all of that, whether it's somebody else or my own stuff. I look at it as regardless. You gotta look at happy times and push yourself forward.
Damn right.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, like with the Gary thing, like, I mean, obviously you've followed the show as much as anybody. Like, were the Gary interviews like some of your favorites that we did?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. I actually hated that when I first come on to when I first started doing videos for you guys, I was going through and picking out what videos I wanted to do. And of course, first off, because it just fell into the way I wanted to do things, was the year in reviews.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did like at least 2 or 3 of those. And so then I started going on to what interviews would be good to put on. So I started going back and listening to older episodes to figure out what vision could I have for this interview or something, what do I want to add visually to it. And the unfortunate thing was the first 2 Gary Corbett ones that you guys did was ones that who did you have doing it for you before?
It was a guy named Patrick that was doing it.
Patrick? Yeah. So that was like the last ones that Patrick did on there. I mean, it was just he just put up like the artwork and just had that, so he didn't really add visually to it.
Yeah, like you do, where you add
what
the
I would have
that fit.
wanted to do to it, but I still considered, since it's already been up, I'm not going to put another one up. So I didn't get to do that, but
yeah, you always could do like a 2.0, like a revised version. Now would be a really good time to do that.
Yeah,
if you had time.
But but then when you had the Remembering Eric Carr interview, and that one really touched me too, because I love Eric Carr. I thought he's definitely the greatest person that was in Kiss. Yep, that one right there. And I did my own little tribute to Eric Carr as well on that. But going in and doing that, I really enjoyed that. That's one of my favorite things. And then the first Rockin' Pod, I got to come up to Gary and say, and he had known about the video, said he saw the video, thought it was really good, turned out really good. And we talked for probably a good hour or so, talking Eric Carr stories. And
that's cool.
That's awesome.
And that. So yeah, he was a great guy, and I'm just so disheartened to have that happen to him, and so quickly like that. That's what always gets me more than anything is when it's unexpected and it's quick.
Yeah.
Because you don't get the time to process it or anything. So anyways, yeah, he was a great guy. I talked to him at Rockin' Pod, the first one. I think the He was at the second one as well.
Yeah, he's come to all of them.
I talked. He's been to all of them. So yeah, I talked to him there, and great guy, very open, very friendly. So it's a sad thing to be losing someone so great.
Yeah.
Like that, and especially since he was looking to come again.
Yeah, we were. I was excited to see him again this year. After another thing that bummed me out was because last year with the lockdown, that took us all away from each other. So that's why and I'm not saying this is a selling point at all, but it's like this year is that much more important. Is like we all have finite amounts of time with each other, so let's get together while we still can.
Right.
And try to enjoy each other's company, because being around a person, the internet and Facebook and everything is great, and what we're doing now is fun and all, but it can't replace real human interaction. And events like what we do, I think, are important for that. So it's good to get in the same room and let's just enjoy our time together while we still have it, because no matter what health you're in, or some people are in absolute tip-top health and something takes them out the next day. We have to appreciate the time we have while we have it, and just enjoy each day for what it is.
Yes, 3 separate meteors could hit all 3 of our houses right now at this moment.
Well,
anything's possible. So
that's pretty morbid, but okay.
You gotta appreciate it while you can. Well, you insert from meteor to anything, but it is true. You don't know. It's like getting hit by a bus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything can happen.
See, I always hear that term, and I stay as far away from buses as I possibly can.
Well, I know when I did live in Ohio. And this was the thing. There was a guy in Ohio, and he was somewhat famous. I can't remember the name, though, but he lived around there. But he was a big health nut, and I guess he did videos or did some kind of, exercise stuff or something that he put out on tape or whatever. And anyway, so he was known for, you would constantly see him jogging around.
Are you talking about Jim Fix?
Could have been.
Dennis Leary had a joke about that guy, where he was like, Jim Fix, wrote an exercise book, did an exercise video, died of a massive coronary when he was fucking jogging. That's when, because it was part of his act.
Yeah it was then, because that's what it was. He was always jogging around and everything, and then it come out that he died. And how'd he die? Jogging. And I was like,
look at guys like Keith Richards and
Ace
Frehley and Ozzy Osbourne.
Lemmy lived forever too.
Yeah.
He lived a lot older than people expected him to.
Look at the people on the other side of it too. You got the guy like that's a health nut and jogging, and then has a heart attack or whatever, and then we got people like Ozzy and Keith Richards and stuff like that have done everything bad to their bodies that you could possibly imagine, and yet they're still going, still kicking it around. So it just comes down to what life throws at you, and what
you really truly don't
know. Nobody knows how it's going to happen, when it's going to happen, and any of that. So you just got to put it in and
just keep going.
And right. And live it up with every chance you get. And
that's right.
No matter what happens, as long as you can go out saying I got no regret.
I saw some photo of Keith Richards. The photos of like modern day Keith Richards looking at a little kid, like kneeling down to a little kid, and it says something like Keith Richards giving something like giving Richie Blackmore a guitar lesson, and it was like, trying to make it out like it was from the '60s or something.
Yeah,
like, I'm convinced Keith Richards is going to outlive everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he's gonna be the
Last
oldest
man
person in
standing.
history.
yeah.
Although I read his book, and like he claimed that the reason he's still in good health is because he used pharmacy level heroin. It was like the most pure version of heroin and cocaine is what he used, so that's why he's still alive. But I'm thinking, you're still chain smoking like a 2 packs a day, dude. So like, how do you explain that?
The heroin cured all that. I'm immune to everything else now.
I don't know. I'm convinced there's genetics involved in everything at this point.
Yeah.
So yeah, but like I've got a long line of guys that died young in my family, so I'm like, I got to start being smarter about what I'm doing just to be safe. But yeah, no, I mean so it's like the world will end and start again with Keith Richards and Betty White.
Right.
That's too funny.
It's a good way to start.
No, it's kind of a funny thing that I had yesterday, or I think it was yesterday or the day before. But anyways, because when I heard about Jeff Labar, I went ahead and I was just doing nothing on the TV, so I went on YouTube and watched some Cinderella videos. Yeah, and then I watched one of them live and was just playing that, and then realized that, because I hear this whole keyboard solo come in and going crazy. And so I come back out to the living room, look at the TV, and they're showing Gary Corbett going on, and then Jeff Labar comes up right to the keyboard, and he's playing along, jamming along with that, and I'm like, there's Gary and Jeff right there.
Such a hard day for the Cinderella camp, man. And
yeah, really.
I feel really bad for those guys. That had to be very difficult for them.
Yeah.
Because I don't know their relationships with Gary, but like we know how we feel about Gary. Can you imagine how much they loved him too?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they spent more time with him than we got to.
How old was Gary?
He was 60. He turned 63 the day after he passed.
Okay.
Yeah, died the day before his birthday.
Day before his birthday.
Yeah. How much does that suck too? But
yeah,
I had to deal with that.
Yeah.
I'm doing my chemo on my 24th wedding anniversary.
Ugh.
Doing my first shots of chemo.
Romantic.
And then
yeah,
I had some family and stuff that was wanting to come in for my birthday a couple days ago, and I was just sicker than a dog, and I couldn't even function, and so I was like, nope, I can't do anything. And then it's like, yeah, then so that's not how I wanted to spend my birthday either.
right. I know you're doing the edible thing. Does that help with your appetite any?
It does, yeah. It actually, because it makes me crave food. So if I'm craving it, then it doesn't taste as bad,
right?
As because I got a craving for it. It's hard to make people understand, because it's just a thing of where it's not that I don't want to eat or anything. I know in my mind, I need to be eating.
Right.
But when I do, I can only take a couple of bites and I'm feeling sick, and the food just is. This gives you a real heightened sense of smell with food and stuff. So if something's got, any kind of spices, pepperish stuff on it, I can't even handle the smell of it, let alone trying to eat it. So you know, but it is what it is, and I'll just get through it. I'm doing my third chemo. It's going to be the 21st, I think. 21st or 23rd, somewhere around there.
Okay.
And they're also going to do radiation on top of that. But they're wanting to do the chemo and all of that and get it done, and then have enough time before that so that I can be able to be in better shape for Rockin' Pod when I go out, because I do the chemo and I'm all right for a couple of days, but then a couple of days into it, I get real sick and I can't function and get around and stuff. So I'm like, I don't want that to happen during Rockin' Pod. So I want the chemo done, well beforehand, so that you can
recover in time.
I can recover and hopefully be feeling a lot better by the time Rockin' Pod comes around.
Yeah, but if anybody starts trying to feed you Jaeger shots, I'm going to punch them in the fucking face. I'm just saying.
No, don't worry.
Yeah, you can't be partying like normal with us during that weekend, man.
Even if anybody does, I can't do that either. So I can't. I get sick with Jaeger, or I don't smoke anymore, which I pretty much told you guys that was what was going to happen, is that I wasn't going to be smoking anymore, because that takes away too. And then, with the food and everything, that'll be if we end up going out to a restaurant or something like that, just, and I don't want anybody to feel any differently around me. So everybody, if we're partying, having fun, and we go to a restaurant, people are drinking, they're smoking, they're, having a good time and everything. I don't want anybody to feel like I'm bringing anything down. I'm going to be right in the mix with you. I'm just not going to be doing it.
Yeah.
But I can honestly, have a good time just laughing it up with you guys, and
I'll be sober with you. I'll be sober with you at least until Monday, because I've got too much on my plate to really enjoy myself as far as getting loaded. So you and me are gonna be like sober buddies that whole weekend, because I have to stay clear headed, or I'll be a mess during. There's just too much to do,
No, that works for me.
All right, I'll be drinking the whole time. Does that wheelchair got a sidecar on it?
Yeah, I'll have to. I'll put a beer holder or whatever on the side of it. I'll say, this is for Camaro only.
You passed out in the side hatch.
Whenever I go scooting around Camaro, he can take some drinks here.
Like that.
No, that's what I mean. I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna have the time of my life. I'm gonna live it up, take it in, do as much as possible, and that. But just I don't want people to feel like oh, here's this guy in a wheelchair that.
Hey, nobody gonna feel like that, Ron. Everybody knows who you are.
Well, I'm sure there may be some that don't know, or that.
Figure it out.
I don't want to be treated any differently or anything, but I'm going to be living it up and
No, we're still gonna bust your balls like we always do.
And
we're gonna treat you like you're our awesome friend.
I'm all up for it.
Well, don't forget Ian Wadley's coming, so you know you're gonna get at least 4 or 5 different molester jokes. So
yeah. If somebody grabs your wheelchair, you may get an unwanted lap dance from Ian.
Well, that's what I say. That's why, people don't realize it, but I love that guy like a brother, man. He has always been so cool to me. And I think that's the reason why. One of the first things he said to me was, do you get offended easily? And I said, no, I don't get offended at all, So I said, you can, as long as it's done in joking and not in a mean spirit.
Right.
I said, you give me all you got, because I'll probably think it's funny as hell. And so then it went from there. That's when he hooked on all the things that he gives me shit about and everything. But no matter how much he gives me shit, he'll get a hold of me right afterwards and say, hey man, it was all in good and I love you like a brother and it's all great. And I'd come back to him and say, yeah, no problem.
Well,
I grew up the same way. We was busting balls when I was a kid, all the time, and that's just how we did show our love for each other,
Now that Wild Side episode you did with them is funny as hell.
It's not as good as Beat the Geek, but it's pretty damn funny.
Oh, you mean the rigged Beat the Geek?
What? I don't know.
I don't know if I'm doing record store day tomorrow. I'm gonna try. I've got a honey-do list a mile long, so if I get that shit done in time,
cool coming out tomorrow.
Well, it's record store day, so it's one of the record store days this year. So I might run out to Great Escape or something. We'll see. They didn't really have a lot on the list that I was really that interested in this year, and it's kind of become a bit of a ripoff with some of the special the stuff they put out is really not that enticing to me. So. And I'm a dollar bin guy. I'll go through the cheap bin and I'll buy records for $1. I don't care if they're beat up. I just want the record, So paying $30 for a record doesn't really appeal to me anymore.
No.
Yeah, and when CD store day? What the hell?
They don't have that.
Bullshit.
It's coming though. I'm sure CDs will be the next in thing. Just watch.
Well, it's time that people get woke to the CDs.
Oh, King's X has stuff out. I might check that out.
Oh, nice.
Oh, and live Michael Schenkner.
Oh, hey. Schnenkner.
Michael Schenkner.
Yeah, cool stuff.
But yeah, so I don't know. I'll see if I can get out to the record stores tomorrow, but I don't know. Probably not.
I'll be
here. Hey, Eric's on here, right?
Eric Luzia? Yeah.
Yeah.
Or at least he was. Yeah.
I just heard today that they were talking about supposedly they might be opening the borders on like the 24th.
I saw that too.
So I wanted to ask him what he's heard and if that's the case, and
that'd be awesome.
Candy Burton from Montco Radio, she's already bought her registration for podcast and to come to Rockin' Pod, and she's certain she's coming, but I keep hearing mixed things about the Canadian border, so I don't know.
Yeah.
She's going to sit on a little train, a little remote control train run by Sebastian Bach, and it's going to wheel her around into the country. It's going to be great.
He said, hang on, I got to ask my wife.
Ron gets that reference.
Yeah.
Those guys are coming back to Nashville around Christmas time, talking about the Trailer Park Boys.
Oh, I was talking about the George Thorogood song. One bourbon, one scotch, one beer.
We're talking about smuggling Canadians into America via model
Trailer
train.
Park Boys. Oh, okay.
That's what I was talking about. Cause
I'm hearing mixed things about the Canadian border, so I don't really
know. I know it's getting real close here, but
because I know our friend Lee McCormick was wanting to come to Rockin' Pod, and he's stuck up there too.
I don't know who's all Canadian, but I know Eric from on here.
He didn't save up for it this year.
Of course, we got the Canadian Geeks, which I'd love to have Wally and Rich back again, but
me too.
That was their reason, because of the borders.
Well, Rich has to go to like 25 other festivals. I'm just kidding.
Well, and it's hard to plan something like that if you don't know you're going to be allowed into the country.
Well, it's killing him because he can't go out to his 25 different festivals. Or
I know, he's pretty much stuck.
Yeah.
We need a GoFundMe for Eric. Oh man, I don't want to launch any more GoFundMes right now. But
not for a long time.
Hopefully we do good enough this year where we can do it again next year for sure. Tom Feely's getting off. Looks like everybody's getting off of the stream now. Are we gonna cut things early today?
We could. I'd be cool with that.
We didn't really come with a plan this evening. We're just kind of get on and just talk in general. Yeah. Ooh, Sabbath Technical X. Is that a Record Store Day exclusive? Because if that is, I will probably buy it.
Yeah.
Let me know.
That is your favorite Sabbath album.
Mighty K, you're still here, but you never come on camera. If you'll come on camera, I'll send you a link and you can come on. We'll see if I can call your bluff because you never come on. No, Eric, no Smash or Trash tonight. I got pulled away for family stuff this afternoon, so I couldn't do it. I didn't know that I was going to be able to do the live stream tonight at all. I've got so much on my plate.
But, I even got to the point where it was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll do it myself. And then Chris was like, no, don't do that. I'll come on with you.
Well, it wasn't because of that. I was just like, I'm just piled up with stuff right now, guys, and it's gonna be that way until we get through the event. So, but I needed it tonight.
The frequency of regular episodes coming out, we got to do something different. I think in the future we should change it. Maybe it shouldn't be Kissmas in July anymore. Maybe it should be like Kissmas in March, something like that. Because Kissmas has really suffered as it's like a trajectory thing. As Rockin' Pod continues to grow, Kissmas begins to suck.
I still like what we've put out, though.
No, we had fun last week, this week with the Kiss Concerts episode. That was a lot of fun.
I think it's good quality. It's just not as much quantity.
Yeah, the quantity is tough.
Well, you guys did really good with the Rick Fox.
Well, Rick made that easy for us.
I was going to say, hey, Rick Fox, you did really good with the Rick Fox episode. We just went back and went, wow, awesome, sweet, cool, hell yeah.
Although I want to see if we can get Tony Mann to come on next week because I know he's going through some stuff this week too. But if we get Tony Mann on next week, that would be nice.
he just had someone close to him that passed away today, I think it was.
Damn it,
and
quit dying.
That's the thing. That's why I kept talking to him and trying to get him on, or to confirm for any one of the Fridays during July. And that's what he kept saying. He said, I just can't confirm because I got this family member in the hospital and I don't know what's going to happen there. And so that's definitely understandable and definitely more important than coming on a live stream show. But, I don't know if he would still want to come on or not. What was that?
Maybe next week. Tony's an awesome guy. He's been on the regular episode before, and he's got some story. Oh, Rick Fox has got some cool stuff. Tony Mann's got some cool stuff too.
Yeah, we've been trying to get him on for a while, and he did a great on the regular episode, but we'll try to get him on again. But I think we're going to cut a little short tonight. So I saw your message, Tony Seminary. I think we're going to just wrap it up tonight. It's been a bit of a long week, but I wouldn't mind having you on in the future. I'm looking at doing some Rockin' Pod live streaming stuff, so I definitely would want to have you on for that for sure.
Yeah, and I can have you come on and I can explain why CDs are so much better than vinyl.
There you go.
Selling that shit at Rockin' Pod.
All right. Well, I think we're gonna head out for the night, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Rock and Ron.
Sorry, I derailed everything.
No, man. No, you actually saved the show, because otherwise we'd probably cut it off like 40 minutes ago. But yeah, no, you coming on was the highlight of this, because we were all bummed out, which we are, So anybody out there right now, I know Ron ain't got nothing, but we just want to salute the memory of Jeff Labar and our awesome friend Gary Corbett.
Yeah.
Man, long may they reign, long may they reign, and their memories and their legacies and their music live on forever, because as people, they were awesome, and it sucks that they're gone, and thank you so much to everybody that participated in the GoFundMe for Gary. It means the world to us. If you knew about Gary through the Decibel Geek podcast and were compelled to donate that way, man, then that was our destiny. That's our destiny of doing this show, is to bring people together so that, these legendary people that may not always be considered legendary on the periphery of, what people think is successful, to us, a guy like Jeff Labar, to us, guys like Gary Corbett are legends, and that shit lives forever. So in our hearts and through the music, cheers to Gary Corbett, our awesome friend, and also Jeff Labar and Al Collins too, from Slam and Gladys, that just recently passed too. We don't
good job to mention that. He was a super great guy too, and that was very unexpected as well.
Yeah, it sucks, all this all at once, but life goes on, and I know Gary Corbett wouldn't want us to be too sad. He'd want us to have a good time, and I know he'd want us to have fun at Rockin' Pod, and his spirit is going to be all over that place August 6th through the 8th when we're doing everything Rockin' Pod. Gary Corbett's going to be there with us in spirit, because he would have been there otherwise, and man, it's tough, man. Huge hail to Ron Jones, who tried to do a video about Gary's passing and cried his eyes out doing it. I couldn't have done it, but it's been a few days, and it tears me up. But, life goes on. These guys want us to carry on with our lives. We're going to do that. We're going to celebrate their memories and the music that they helped create forever. And, thank you guys for all being a part of this with us. We know that we're not the only ones that revere people like that, and it goes to show when we all get together in August and party and celebrate rock and roll for Rockin' Pod, it really shows that, people care about this stuff, and people care about the artists that created it. And so, celebrate on we shall, and love the ones that you love and the people in your lives, because like we talked about in this episode, we all thought that we'd be getting to hang out with our awesome friend Gary Corbett for many, many years. It's not happening. So, Ron, thank you for coming on and popping in with us tonight, man. That means the world to me and Chris.
So good to see you.
We suck without you. Everybody knows it.
True.
And we're so happy that you jumped in with us tonight.
And that's why I say the same thing to you guys. Just live it up and enjoy life and do whatever you can to have a good time and see the people that you love and be around the people you love and the ones that care for you, and that's from family to just friends on the internet here that, you've never seen. And that's why, I want to go out and be at Rockin' Pod and meet, Kristen and, everybody that's coming out there and get to see them in person, because like Chris said, it's great to have all this communication online and everything. And that's a great thing, but it doesn't hold a candle to mingling with people and catching up with them and in person and that. So that's what I take away from everything is you just live it up and do whatever you want to do in life, and don't let the little things get in the way, you know, or say, I won't do it this time. I can't really afford it, so I'm gonna skip this and we'll do it next time. You know, because there may not be a next time. So if you can do it at all, then do it, live it up.
Yeah, and I think and yeah, Kristen, very well said. I think I translate for Ron when I say, everyone that comes to Rocket Pod, go up to Rockin' Ron and dry hump his leg.
Yeah.
That will make it an experience he'll never forget. So let's make sure we all do that.
Why did you have to bring up my fetish now?
Yeah. You'll be in the wheelchair. You're not used to it. You can't escape so quickly.
Whatever turns you on, rocking and rolling, Ron.
Probably get a fucking lap dance from Ian. That's all I need.
Yeah, no, he'll want one from Kristen. He'll get one from Ian. Oh man!
Awesome. I love you guys.
All right, love you guys. We're gonna get off here for tonight. So we'll talk to you next week. Thanks.
All right, talk to you guys.
See ya.